Let's play more Meimon Takonishi Ouendan. And it seems that all my people are retaining, or all my people have retained their injuries from last battle. But that doesn't matter, because the leader has a really good sword. And just gained a level. And Baldy's at full health. Drake, however, is very, very wounded. He's gonna sit back. And now our leader suddenly has 120 health. I guess you gain your health back whenever you get a level. Now he does 15 damage with a sword. And 12 damage with a kick. If the enemy doesn't block it, that is. Let's just stick to the sword. I've got a sword. And you don't. That's a big problem for you. Feel the power of a person who's bald like a Japanese monk. A bozu, as it were. Bozu Chikara! Monk power. Even though he doesn't have those dots on his head that signify that he's a monk or whatever. I'm calling him a monk anyways. The word bozu is monk in Japanese, and the word hage is baldy in Japanese. And it seems like all the encounters in this area are quite easy. Probably because I've focused so incredibly much. If I was actually spreading the encounters out, this game might be a bit more difficult. That's alright, it's still quite an enjoyable game, even if it isn't challenging enough. Generally, it's an interesting concept, so that's why I decided to show it off. Plus, I haven't really played all the way through to the end, as I said before, so I might as well see how hard it gets before I judge it, I guess. An encounter for... what did I call this guy? Tank. Go, Tank, go! Tank is not quite as high of a level as my other characters, so this fight's not going to be an easy one. Especially because his opponent has a sword. His sword attack is 1 point higher than Tank's fist. But his opponent's kick and Tank's fist are completely tied. Or perfectly tied, so... at least I have a chance, as long as he doesn't use that sword too much. Uh-oh. Sword beats fist. That's not good. Alright. Way to go, Tank. That was a close one. You almost died. Yes, he'll take whatever he can get. Maybe I should be a bit more careful with Wimpy. I don't want him to get into a fight at all. Tank almost died. Or was it the Fat Man? I don't know which one I'm calling Tank or the Fat Man. Both those two punching characters are quite similar, so I guess the names are really interchangeable. Baldy's the person that's turning out to be a really awesome character this time. Usually Drake does a pretty good job, but he made a bad decision of going through the sewers, so he's out of the runnings for now. And of course the leader, the Fonz. Whatever his actual name is. He's always going to be a great character. He has this crazy armbar move. Does really high damage. And he moves 4 spaces, for God's sakes. He's just better than the bald guy in every single way, except for the ties for movement. Just gonna mainly use these guys for exploring. Searching for random items or whatever may be hidden on the map. Or extra encounters, hooray! And finish it with the armbar. Even though, if I had used this move a round earlier, I could have ended the fight earlier, but I didn't notice in time. Oh well, it's a good finisher. Even though it would have been a finisher anyways, because the guy had 25 health earlier. Doesn't really matter. I didn't get any more wounded than I was, so... I guess I'm gonna fight him with this guy. It's a heck of a lot better than fighting him with Wimpy. I'm still confused which one I'm calling which. So is this guy Tank? I called the other guy Tank earlier, so I guess this guy's the Fat Man by definition, but I think this guy's a smaller one. I think this guy's Tank, the other guy's Fat Man. I don't really care. They're both punching characters. You're punching character B, and the other guy's punching character A. That's all that matters. The reason I don't like punching characters as much as I like the kicking characters is because people get swords, and swords upgrade your punch a good amount, so having a good kick as a alternative option is good, because then you at least still have a choice. But I mean, I guess a punching character could be quite good with a sword too, because he already has a high punch stat. You give him a sword, it becomes even higher. I could see the punching characters becoming potentially quite deadly with a sword, but I like giving the swords to the kicking characters because it rounds them out more. It gives me more options. I don't know, the game's pretty easy in general, so I don't really have to worry about these decisions too much. You're still feeling pretty good. 63 health. I'd rather send you into the fight than